So, and you have 30 days, it sounds like.
I mean,
and HUD did confirm with us
you
that
know,
if you don't do something with your voucher, that it's very much a process-oriented approach, that you have to stay on top of it if you need an extension with your voucher. I'm sure you know that stuff, Nick.
yeah, and I've already went over.
So do you have dates in that newsletter of a training in Portland that you want to attend?
I'm waiting for the September, one to come out. I mean, I just attended the personal support worker orientation that just happened this month.
In LeGrand?
No, yes, in LeGrand at CHD, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a lovely orientation at CHD.
That was the personal, what was it called?
Personal support worker orientation.
Okay.
Okay.
When did you do that this month?
Yeah. I was there this month. It was nice, and you wouldn't believe it. But the SEIU union guy that was at the orientation for December, he was there, signing people up. I mean, now you want to move forward from this point on. Now that I'm going to go and live on the street because 6 months ago and stuff. I mean, hey, back in March, when I, went and said that I have this provider number, I could have did this. I mean, I showed up with a notepad and a newsletter, and then there's the PDFs and stuff that proves that these are happening, and that I could have, could have registered for these classes and actually went and provided proof that I actually went to these training classes and had these credentials that I went to these training classes.
So
and
again,
this meeting right now. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. What a waste of time. And now you're talking about, now we can support you with.
no, I'm not saying that, Nick. I'm saying if you bring in that information as an assessment activity, I will support your gas down there. But I am not supporting this
If I bring in that information after next week, you're telling me that I would have to drive clear across the state of Oregon to you.
So do you not want to do that? Is that not your goal?
Matt, would you drive from Portland to LeGrand to bring Susan some information about you going to a class while you're in Portland already homeless?
Well, I mean, I'm under the impression that you're going to Portland permanently.
I mean, at the end of this meeting comes the 1st of September, and then I've already got to move my stuff out of the apartment, and then come to final inspection. And now Susan's doing this whole, because now I'm talking to the CAP program face to face, because, after finding out on this calendar that I've had in my apartment says that I found out on the 15th of March that I have a home care worker provider number, and that I pretty much told her about it,
So do you want us to close your case?
And then she asked me if if I want my case closed. Like, am I a dude who collects Social Security disability who's supposed to be here? I didn't drive up here for this.
We need to know, Nick, if you want to take these classes in Portland and get our help with that, because they're not being offered currently in the grant. We need to know if you want that, and we can help support you doing that.
So Matt, weren't we talking about getting my case just transferred? Because clearly these two do not want to do their job. Because I really wanted to get my case into plan, get this training.
So you located in the Portland area, you could have.
I could have a social worker who's just like, yeah, we'll get you into plan. You'll get these trainings. You'll do this goal. You'll get this job, and then from there on, you'll be self-sufficient. You will build a bridge, get over your past, and whatever you need to focus on you and be strong, right? I mean, that's so much better than, living in a toxic world.
Right.
And then being asked, well, I mean, that's what's going on here.
So what do you want from our program right now, Nick? Do you want anything from LeGrand VR?
Yeah, I would like to hear you talk about how it's going to be more than just fuel and some first month's rent. Because, I mean, seriously, we could have been over this whole training registry. I could have had a job. I could have started work and made the money on my own after taking after getting help through my little plan to go, you know, back and forth to confirm that I've been to the class, you know,
Can I say something
and
though? With the housing issue, with the first month's rent, we're not a housing program.
yeah,
We
you're
try-
not a,
we're
you're not a
trying to
housing
work
program, but
in
you're
conjunction
not
with
a, you're not a,
HUD.
you're not a housing program, but you sure are a program that has helped people with housing before, especially people who have actually been in, you know, whether it actually, you know, is, you know, some kind of assault, or in my case, I live next to a guy in a wheelchair who likes to call me all kinds of names and actually owns weapons. You know, he owns firearms and stuff. And, you know, does HUD know about that? Yes, they do. You know, I mean, the people that deliver mail to my apartment knows that the people that live in my apartment own firearms, and they're all unstable as hell. And
So, but that isn't VR's
So-
role.
and that's not, it may not be your role, but you know what?
So
For the
Matt-
longest time, I tried to get this job and tried to make enough money so I could just move anyways. But instead of getting, you know, into plan to take these training classes and have a job already, here I am on August 31st talking about how I could have had this plan and could have had a job already and saved up enough money, or, you know, how VR says, you know, if you get a job offer in Portland, we could help you with a U-Haul or whatnot. And maybe you could have just transferred your voucher because, you know, we helped you with the U-Haul. Because, you know, HUD helped you with housing. But instead, we just gave you the runaround for a number of months, which was incredibly stressful on top of where you live, which is incredibly stressful and very much hostile.
Yeah, I can understand the frustration there. We've been involved.
I mean, I live in a hostile place, and I attend basically a hostile DHS. And it doesn't matter how you put it. You want to clarify it a different way, but guess what? From my perspective, you've been hostile. You've been pretty hostile to me. I mean, you can clarify it any way you want. I work incredibly hard on my own to try to attend classes, and got nothing in return. I mean, I've offered so many times to bring in the paperwork from Social Security,
So
which
Matt,
is
let
Social
me
Security.
explain the process of transferring to a new VR branch. What Nick needs to do if he's going to move to Portland, once he gets settled in Portland, he just needs to contact the local branch that's closest to him. And once he makes that physical contact in that office, that branch contacts us and will transfer his file. What I'm not clear on today is Nick asking me to close his file, or is he asking me to support an assessment service that would be attended training in the Portland area for healthcare worker or home care worker, and provide that assessment service, because that is the only assessment service I'm able to offer to Nick at this time. It is a pre-planned service. We do not have him in plan. We have him eligible based only on mobility issues. That has to do with his back and his knee problems. And those problems are counterindicated in the goal of manipulating, moving people around, being on his feet all day. So that will have to be something that he addresses at the new branch if he is going to do that. So the answer I need from Nick today is, does he want me to close his case, or does he want to bring us information about a training class he wants to participate in the Portland area?
Well,
So how am I gonna bring you information for a class that I don't have information
yeah,
for?
the field, some kind of field outside for that, and then if he brings the information for that, we can at least have that service for you just had an assessment. And then when he is in Portland, transferring his file to another VR office to work on the case there rather than in Eastern Oregon.
Yes, and I would like to ask Sue Hart to weigh in on my program boundaries, if that's within the confounds of program services that she feels is appropriate for us to provide.
It is a stretch, but we could do, it's very much a stretch. What I can say is, I'm concerned because I'm hearing that Nick is, leaving a house, or my understanding, either the 6th of September or the 8th, which is roughly a week away. And what I can say is definitely VR cannot help with housing. That is too far of a stretch for us to make at this point. My concern right now as I'm listening to this conversation is, what is Nick's plan for housing after the 6th or the 8th? Is it going to be in Grande or is it going to be in Portland?
It'll be in the Portland area, in which,
It's very, that's
Yeah.
not very much time to establish housing. So that's my concern right now, because VR will not be paying for housing on the 6th or the 8th.
no, not talking about getting housing on the 6th or the 8th. No, I'll be leaving my housing on the 6th or the 8th. And then from then on, I'll be trying to hit a bunch of classes and actually attend them. From basically September, I want to say the 12th on, because after September 6th, after I get done, with the inspection and everything, I'm going to wait a couple days, to the end of the week and make sure that my paperwork is actually transferred. And then after that, I'm going to make the drive down and then appear in the Portland area on the 12th. And depending on where the first class is on Monday the 12th, I'll be at that class. So to say I'll be in Portland, I probably won't be in Portland. I'll be at whatever class is on September 12th, early in the morning, whatever location that is. I'll be registered for that class.
Where are you planning on staying on September 12th?
Oh, I'll be living out of my SUV, which is one of the reasons why I brought a 2005 Ford Explorer, and I pay about $127 in insurance a month. I pay insurance to keep that vehicle up to code, and I get its oil changed all the time. So therefore, it looks and rides like a vehicle that should be, parked anywhere. The trainings happen between the SEIU buildings and several hotels. And a lot of the hotels generally will let you park in the parking lot, especially if you are, there for a reason. So, throughout the entire work week, I'll actually be able to have a place to be. The only time I won't have anything, place to be is on Sundays, which it's Sunday. And that's how come I've always said, look at the back of these newsletters. You'll see that these classes are pretty much arranged, spanning the week. The only thing is depending on their location. And, if you pretty much say you're going to head towards Portland, a lot of classes happen in the Portland metro area. But as far as my housing goes, I'm not looking to live in the exact Portland area because rent may be too high there, but the outlying areas you can afford. But, had I been able to, start a plan a long time ago and do my trainings and everything, I could have been out there, did my trainings, had time to visit an orientation and all that stuff, and
So one thing I'm gonna need to know is
And
how
yes, I wanna
to
keep- and yes-
contact Nick.
and yes, I want to keep my plan.
Because I'm gonna have to have confirmation about his attendance at the training and the outcome of that. And I'm gonna have to have a way to correspond with him to confirm those activities. Nick also has very confusing phone service. And that is something I would like to just visit a little bit about as we wrap up are you gonna have a consistent phone number for me to reach you at? Is there something we can do to improve those services so that we can reach each other by phone, Nick?
I have a good phone. It's an iPhone. I talked to Matt yesterday and Ted. We heard each other pretty good. So
Can I have that number?
So with that phone, it is 541-962.
Okay.
I spent too much money to call you repeatedly just to end up talking to you today.
Okay.
So you can call the voice over IP number where I have to be
962.
under Wi-Fi, and it's or email me.
So 541-962.
I'm not giving you the number. I pay $45 a month for it. I mean, as far as respect goes,
So what's the email address? I think I have
you
that,
have,
Nick,
you
but
have,
I
you
don't.
have, you have both of them. You have both the Gmail addresses.
So the one thing that I would like to offer, Matt, as an assessment activity, is I would like to offer, if Nick will share with me his phone number, that I can pay his $45 phone bill for 1 month so that I can stay in touch with him this next month while he relocates to Portland. I'd be, able to have Michelle write in that phone service for 1 month and that gas to Portland 1 month. But we need to be able to then call him and connect with him to verify that he's okay, that he's made the classes, and that we can get him the information of what is the nearest office to him if he's trying to identify a VR office in a particular area of Portland, because there's 2 or 3 offices down in that area.
And also one other thing, so,
But I need the phone number,
Right, so yeah,
and I won't call it unless we need to.
something I would recommend doing.
I mean, you know, cause I had the 541-962-5819 number.
Uh-huh.
And that was a number that when I, you know, got this apartment here in Grande, I had that number. And I would get calls from, you know, this office, and basically, that's it, you know.
And you don't have that number anymore?
No, I mean, after shutting that number off, and then, you know,
So do you have an iPhone number that we can reach you at?
yeah, I do.
And you don't wanna give it to me?
I mean, right now, I just, you know, I mean, you messed around with me for 8 whole months.
Okay, that's okay, Nick. So let me be clear, Matt, and I just wanna make sure that everybody's on the same page. So Nick needs to bring me into this office before September 12th. And he needs to drop this off to Michelle, information about the class, where it's at, and when he's gonna be attending it. It needs to be a class that is appropriate given his disability, so it